All right, Ambush, and today I am very excited because we are joined by a member of a multi-platinum Juno award-winning group that has been thrilling audiences with powerful songs, astounding harmonies, and undeniable charm, as you can see from our guest today, one Clifton Murray of The Tenors. How's it going today, Clifton?
It's going good now with that intro, buddy. Come on.
Ooh, come on. You know we get it kicked off with a little bit of hype, and you know that we are hyped to have such an incredible vocalist here on the program.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. We're going to hire you as our hype man for the tour now. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing, you just get that line down and we'll come out and the show's already a hit, buddy.
Hey, already a hit, hanging from the rafters, as I'm sure they will be on these upcoming shows. Of course, the Tenors are going to be hitting Windsor, Ontario on May 5th, and on May 8th, they're playing a Mother's Day show at the renovated Massey Hall in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. How excited are you for these upcoming dates?
Oh, man, I think more than ever we're excited about these shows. First of all, you know, the music has been locked down, and we did a Christmas tour, thankfully, in that little window between the waves. But getting back into things, you know, finally getting a really good show up and running. And this is actually two shows that we didn't get to do during the Christmas show. So we had all these fans ready and waiting, tickets bought, everything. And then we had to postpone. And so we're putting them back on. And the thing it was like, look, our fans, they had plans, they were prepared for the show, and it didn't happen. So what we got to do is we got to make this show better than any show that they've ever seen. So we blew it out. We broke the bank in terms of like ideas and production. We brought in a full brass and string ensemble on top of the band, massive 40-piece choir, crazy light show, so that people come back into the experience just absolutely blown away. And on top of it all, we're honoring the most important people in our lives, which is our mothers. So you're going to feel not only the love we have for being on stage, for sharing our music, but also for that love that we have for our mothers. And I know people are going to bring their family, and it's just going to be a powerful, emotional night of celebration and energy. Healing energy, lots of harmonies. But I mean, we're going to keep the energy up. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of interaction, a lot of medleys. We're going to feature the orchestra. It's going to be I think it's going to be the best show we've ever done.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, when you kick off that answer with you're stepping up the production, if anyone who's seen a tenor show, you already know that the production value of the show alone, when they don't have a massive 40-piece brass ensemble, a choir, and everything else, is already absolutely incredible. So this is amazing, my man.
Well, it's a gift back to the audiences that have been coming to our show for 14 years. Like, we've had, I think now 9 sellouts at Windsor, and the audience is just so packed and amped every time. You know, it's around the holiday season. Everyone makes it a family affair, and it's at the casino. So the party's already happening. And, you know, I was like, how do we raise the bar, and how do we say thank you? Because, you know, out of COVID, I think we just really had this deeper sense of appreciation for what we've had all these years, and these incredible fans that make it their annual tradition to come to a Tenors concert, get moved by the music, have an amazing time, and it kind of starts their holiday experience. So it's just a huge thank you. We love you. Let's get back to sharing the music again. And two epic venues in their own right. Windsor has literally the best light setup of any venue in North America. You walk in and it's like, whoa, it's like a U2 level light rig set up there. And Massey Hall is just so iconic, and the acoustics in there, and the history in the walls. And then with the new renovations, just so beautifully done, and every seat is magical. So, you know, I'm just really pumped. And listen, for us, the Tenors, Massey Hall, we've never done it before. And that's one of those things that's on the bucket list. You know, we've performed all over the world in like Windsor Castle, Buckingham, and like all over the world, everywhere you can think of. even Madison Square Gardens. But we've always been waiting for an opportunity to do Massey, because in Canada, that's one of the most iconic halls. So it's going to be a special moving night, not just for the audience, but for us specifically.
And I like how one of the words that you used earlier too is a celebration. And I like how you got to start it off fresh, because it's the Tenors finally getting back out there, hitting the ground running with an epic show, but also inside of a fresh Massey Hall, one of the most renowned venues inside of Canada / the entire world.
Yeah. So many artists have gone through there, and they all sort of feel and sense the legacy that's in the walls. So it's exciting that people are getting back to live music again. And, just seeing those faces in this legendary space after all this time away, it's going to be emotional, man. It's going to be, spirits will be lifted, hearts will be transformed, ours included. And it is called the Best of Our Lives tour, but really this is a thank you celebration tour and getting back to business, baby.
Yeah. So when you say a best of our lives, what exactly are the fans who are going to be making their ways out to these shows? What exactly could they expect from the upcoming set list here?
Okay. So for, let's see, 10 years probably, we've done a major Christmas tour, and Christmas has become sort of synonymous with the Tenors. But a lot of our fans are like, okay, it's been this many years. We want to see something other than the Christmas tour, because we know you got 6 albums, you have all this music that you can't perform at Christmas. We need a non-Christmas show. But it's really hard because we tour all over the world, and we're trying to sort of balance out all our touring. And it just makes a lot of sense to come back to Canada, North America for Christmas. But because of COVID and whatnot, we had to switch it up. And it gave us this opportunity to finally do a non-Christmas show. So they get to see all of the songs that have really made us famous in our genre. And we actually took a poll with our audiences and asked them what songs they want to see. Songs like Bob Dylan's Forever Young, Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And then we have the classical side. We have a medley it's songs made famous by Elvis and Pavarotti. So we call it the Pelvis medley. And it's like high energy, over the top, like fun, moving. It's like a little bit of Vegas and a little bit of Italy, just kind of like crammed in for this like mega music explosion. And some new music from our recent PBS special that we filmed down in Vegas last October. Really soul-stirring music that sort of we're known for, like Bridge Over Troubled Water, You'll Never Walk Alone. And those songs with the orchestra and with the choir and with the light show, it's like I'm getting shivers just thinking about it. So yeah, we just like, okay, how do we blow it out? How do we do all of these powerful, uplifting songs and, still, walk off stage with the vocal cords intact? Because tenors do a lot of big singing, and that's what people want to come and see. And there's some surprises. We have a guest artist that we're bringing on, and we're going to do some classic rock from Queen. That's going to melt some faces. So it's going to be like hills and valleys, man. There's so much good stuff. We had a really tough time, like picking the 19 or so songs that we're going to do for the night. But with the help of the fans and just keeping in mind, like, people have been in the dredges for a while and they don't want to sit through, 2 hours of sad songs, right? They want to be moved. Yes, they want to be transformed, but they want to feel good and celebrate. So it's a really good mix of hills and valleys, man.
Absolutely. A epic roller coaster ride through 19 songs or so here. It sounds like this is going to be absolutely incredible. I wish I was in Ontario myself, personally.
Come
honestly.
on down, Colton. Sorry, anyone
uh,
named Colton, I just assume they're a country singer. Sorry, pardon me.
I'm from Saskatchewan, so you're actually like hitting the nail like right on the head there.
Okay. I was going to call my first kid Colton, but I got talked out of it. So
I am prairie born and raised, so you actually like got it perfectly. Oh, fantastic. So you also happen to mention that there is a PBS special that you guys happened to film back in October of the same name. So some of those fans in the United States who have been maybe waiting these past 2 years to see the Tenors and maybe can't make Ontario either, they also have the opportunity to watch maybe a little bit of this best of our lives as well then.
yeah, so filmed it in October, which was great. PBS called us and said, "Hey, we haven't had a tenor show in a couple years. Can you guys put something together in a month and a half?" And we're like, "Absolutely not." It takes 6 months to record all the music, to record all the orchestra, to learn the parts, create a stage show, and then pick the venue, and just it just takes a lot of money and a lot of time. And you're giving us a month and a half? No way. But then we talked and we're like, look, this was just put in our lap, this opportunity. We've been sitting around on our butts. If there's ever a time to just believe in ourselves and go for it, now's the time. So he said, let's do it. And we picked a bunch of songs that we've been wanting to do for a while. We arranged them. We got our great buddy Mark Camilleri here in Toronto to help orchestrate and record the orchestra and the choirs. And it was literally a sprint to the finish, to the point where we're still like writing our speeches and figuring out our choreography and dance moves. An hour before the show, I'm in like the production booth writing out my speech on the prompter. It's like down to the second. And with that kind of energy, with that kind of like no time to second guess, because there's a lot of, paralysis by analysis that happens when you have too much time on your hands. And it was just like, go. And we took all these chances that we maybe might not have if we had enough time to really think about it. And it ended up turning out to be this fantastic show with so much energy in this iconic venue, the Smith Center in Vegas, and a lot of new music, all new music that we had been, excited to do, but hadn't done up to that point. Like Bridge with Troubled Water, Never Walk Alone, Shallow from the show Stars Born. And we did what's called a Vegas medley. We call it the Vegas medley. Tenors are sort of known in their live shows for medleys. We take 4, 5, 6 songs and we like cram them together. So it's like nonstop energy from start to finish. And like, when you listen to 80s songs and you hear a verse and your chorus and you're good. It's like, I love this song. Oh my God, this is the best. And you're like, all right, next song. You know what I mean? We know that that people feel that. So we took all these like legendary songs, like "Oh What a Night," like "Can't Take My Eye." Oh, I love you, baby. And if it's like an awesome song. You heard the chorus twice. Okay, you're good. Let's hear something else. Volare, Hooked on a Feeling. No, Ooga Chugga. I can't stop this feeling. And it's just like nonstop, like hits that you just can't stop singing along to. And it's like 12 minutes long and it doesn't stop. And it's so much fun. It's the Vegas medley, and we choreograph like full on like Jersey Boy style dance moves to the entire thing. So we're like tenors known for standing and delivering, spent a month working on like some pretty significant choreography. And I think we pulled it off. It was a lot of fun. And it was like, what? Tenors are dancing? So it's just taking risks, having fun, just loving what you're doing. And then make sure it's translating sincerely to the audience to hopefully connect with people in a time in their life when they most need it, whether they need to shed a tear, whether they need to laugh, whether they need to cry, grieve, whatever it is. The tenors understand that there's a responsibility with what we do. And it's to keep that integrity and that sincerity and that excellence in our music so that spirit can channel through us into them and raise their life in some way.
Hey, absolutely. Music has a magic to it. It can heal. It can help to celebrate. There's so many different things that it can do. And it's amazing that you guys understand that.
Amen, brother.
Amen. And of course, we mentioned that some of these fans have been waiting a little while here to catch themselves some tenors live. Some fans have been waiting patiently, some maybe a little less patiently, for some studio music here from the tenors as well. I saw some pictures on your social media that maybe hinted towards exactly this. So what maybe does the tenors have coming for us in the future in the studio fashion?
Yeah, brother. Well, time at home during COVID has given us all an opportunity to reflect on just the incredible gifts that we have in our life, whether it be family, whether it be an incredible fan friend base. We call them TFFs, Tenors Friends Forever. Just being able to travel and go through music, but also like diving into the thousands of emails and letters and texts and DMs and Facebook messages about how the music's really deeply profoundly and deeply affected people's lives. And so you really reflect and start to like gather all this information. You start to understand and solidify what it is and what the messages are that really connect with people and change people. And so the Tenors Camp, we have a mantra. We want to bring hope, healing, and harmony to people in their lives. And so as we're away and we have our piano and our guitar sitting there that doesn't get as much love because we're on the road so often. And now we had a time to really sit back, write some more music, a lot more music, and collaborate with incredible writers and producers, Grammy award-winning world class. So it's that mix of listening to our fans, understanding their story, even like taking some of their stories unbeknownst to them and working it into songs and into music and seeing sort of reoccurring themes and messages and stories, and sort of it's slowly you chisel away at all these things and out comes this story that sort of was reflective of so many people's life. And there's a universality built into these songs that came from these stories. So personal life experiences, our fan stories, great collaborations, and understanding what works too in our group. And it's funny because so many songs, like more songs than we'll ever be able to release, in 10 years. So then we get to like take this massive school of songs and start to select like the ones that really rise to the top. So there will be new music coming out this year. We have been releasing singles throughout the pandemic. We did we wrote a song called Mother. That's going to be obviously a feature song on the show. And it's a song, that we've been wanting to write our whole life, really. And now that we were all dads, we can finally understand the sacrifice and the love that our mothers truly gave us. So we put our pen to paper. We worked with Grammy award-winning writer and producer Bernie Herms in Nashville, and we penned this powerful tune that I love to sing because it says exactly how I feel, and again how so many other people felt as well based on their reactions and the responses. So that song is going to be a pretty powerful moment in the show. And with this new music, to circle back to your question, we're just going to carry on that experience of like trying to really capture people's stories, capture our stories in really powerful, engaging ways through melody and lyric.
Ooh, I love to hear that. And I love how you brought that back to the idea of the Mother's Day show and how sort of, now as fathers, you understand the entire scope of what goes into being a mother, the sacrifices and some of the experiences that go into that very, very important part of life.
Yeah, you take so much for granted. I think I take so much for granted growing up. just assuming that, you know, mother's love is just automatic. But, you know, being a dad, it's like, it's a choice, man, but it's a choice. And you just keep going back to it. And it fills you with so much love, obviously, as a dad. But it's like, yeah, my mom sacrificed so much and she gave me so much. And I want to honor her. And you know, and that's just, I think everyone feels that way in essence. I mean, so many, obviously, there's definitely, it's not always the case. But even in the song that we wrote, we left room to subtly touch on, you know, it's not always roses. You know, there is tension and there is a rebellious streak in many of us as we navigate adolescence, and just staying the course, sticking with us, allowing us to figure it out a little bit, but always being there. You know, didn't want to get too dark and heavy, but it's there subtly enough to be real, you know, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Absolutely not. And I appreciate you taking the time to celebrate the women in your lives. And the fans can celebrate some of the women in their lives by taking their mothers to these incredible shows. May 5th in Windsor, May 8th at the Massey Hall in Toronto, both Ontario, Canada. Go ahead and get your tickets. Clifton, thank you so very much for joining me here today on the Desert Tiger Podcast.
Yeah, the Tiger Podcast, man. And don't forget, if you can follow us on Instagram at Tenors Music, Facebook. We really love to stay connected with our fans, meeting new people all the time. It really does make a difference in our world. So come on over and check us out.
Hey, absolutely. Do it up. I'll put links to all of these things in the description to the show below.
Thank you.